because I call it self-hate, because anytime, you know, you can kill someone that looks like you and all this violence going on. Obviously, you know, rappers get targeted because of jewelry or whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, it's still just black on black crime, which is...
For sure.
Yeah,
do you feel like some of that, though, is like, I never became what I wanted to become in my life, so I'm just going to take your life? Fat Joe said that, I think,
mean,
recently.
there's always jealousy and envy, and you get that, and there's always this thing called, you know, the crab in the bucket mentality and all that. But what I feel like when I grew up, there was always violence, right? You know what I mean? I grew up in the inner city, and you had to watch your back and this and that.
Yeah.
But there was at least a little bit more of a code. Like, just because someone came to rob you, they didn't come to kill you. You know, now granted, you ain't give up you didn't give up your shit, you know. Obviously,
yeah, that's different.
You're different, but and I also feel like that too, meaning it's the other side too. Like, so for instance, if someone pulls a gun on you and they just want your chain and your watch, give up your chain and your watch. Live to see your daughter. Live to see your children. Live for another day. Who cares about the material? You know, I mean, you know. And because, you know, obviously in the P&B Rock and the Pop Smoke situation, you know.
Nipsey, of course, to me too.
Well, Nipsey was a different situation.
Was it different?
A little different,
Okay.
yeah, a little different. Whereas meaning P&B and Pop Smoke, those were robberies. And obviously it escalated into what it became, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And that's what Fat Joe was speaking on.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, there was a time in Fat Joe's life where he was, you know,
XXXTentacion was more of that too, actually, because he was in the Beamer and trying to get, but he didn't want to give it up.
He fought back, you know. P&B, obviously, I think his first response was, I don't know this for a fact, so I'm speculating.
Yeah.
But I think his first response was like, nah, you know what I mean? And it's just like, here.
See, but let me just, can I tell you my thoughts on that? It's like, instead of being jealous about it, you could use that that's an example to motivate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, it's,
I think that's, on the other side of it, that should be what it is.
Yeah.
To me, you should be proud of seeing someone doing their thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we all come from the same place.
Yep.
So when you see someone who's got a nice car or got some nice jewelry or, you know, given a nice house, don't be your first instinct, let me take that.
Yeah.
Your first instinct should be, let me applaud that person. Like, you know, let me use that as motivation to get my life going. But that's, you know, the nature of the game. And I, you know, obviously, I come from the hood, so I understand that. But there's just no code. There's no mentality. There's no respect of people's life.
For sure, but I think in order to be able to see it that way, you've had to do some work on yourself to be more evolved. You feel me? Like, if you're not evolved, you're going to look at it very short-sighted. You feel me?
Oh, you got that? I want that.
Yeah.
Because that's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very short-sightedness. But just the fact to not value another person's life is that's what I'm so disappointed at.
For sure.
In our community.
You dropped a gem from, I think it was a secondhand gem from Quincy Jones?
Yeah, Quincy Jones.
Can you please drop that again for the listeners?
It's still some of my best advice that I've gotten in life, especially in my career, and I've lived by it in my career. When things are going good, you know what I mean? Don't get too high. Yeah. Keep it in check. When things are going bad, same thing. Don't get too low, right? Because we know with low, when you go all the way down to the bottom, that's how people end up suicidal or other issues or other things in their family. You know. Yeah. Whether it's substance abuse and things of that nature, that's how you go down a spiral with substance abuse or other things, or you know, whatever the case may be. His thing was, you know, fly in that middle space of don't get too high, but don't get too low. Can I tell you where the challenge is, Che? Yeah. When shit pops off and shit gets exciting, bro. I'm like, you know what I mean? Do you get excited? I mean, I do, but I've always been somewhat of an even-tempered person in general, so I don't think it's in my nature to get too. I mean, all of us, right? Anyone can get gassed or you feeling yourself, and that's okay. Because we work so hard. I feel like when you work really hard and you see a payoff, how do you keep that in check, bro? You just gotta think about still like the same things, the basic things, whether you're religious or you're spiritual, whatever. Just like treat people how you'd want to be treated, and things like that. Just don't lose sight of the basics. For sure. And people do, right? Because you can't help. Like, you just, bro, listen, I've been around the music business a long time, and I would say the people that achieve really big success and still stay low to the earth, I would put that at like 8 to 10%, bro. I'm just going to keep it all the way 100. It is. and honestly, life can change you, right? You could have been an outsider, right? And like one of the people that didn't have a lot of friends growing up in this thing, when you get that money, and now you're the guy or you're the girl. Bro, look out. And then it's like, okay, all right, world. You know what I mean? I'm stunned. You know, I've literally seen people that wore no chains, very humble, very chilling, and they got that money, came out, rings and chains. I was like, whoa, who's this? I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I mean? Literally came back looking like Liberace. And it was like, whoa, you just made a trip to Jacob, huh? And you think of the Kanye song. I went to Jacob with 25,000, before I had all, and he would do it again. You know what I mean? So
real.
I do feel like I understand it being when you've never had money, and and you want to shine or you want to look good, you know what I mean, and you do it, and I just